Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Killjoy Jake YouTube channel. Today we're talking a little horror, as you guys probably know. I'm really excited to talk a little bit about Megan 2.0, brand new release this week. Maybe some Final Destination 7 rumors, theories, all that fun stuff, as well as some Terrifier 4 and Scream 7 talk, as always. Apologies about being late, by the way. It's been a day. It's already been a day. Here we are. 3 o'clock. I don't even have my headphones on. That's how wild it is. But I appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Means a lot. Let's get into some of this crazy stuff. I see Froggy Fresh saying thrown in there, popping in before I see Megan 2. Again, I have the absolute lowest amount of expectations possible, and I'm dreading the 2-hour runtime. See you then. Let me know what you think afterwards. Without spoiling anything, which we're not having a spoiler stream today on it. I know some people have not seen the film yet. Biggest thing I'll throw out there is that I did not hate it as much as I thought I would. I definitely did not hate this film as much as I thought I would. It's fun. It's fun. I had a decent time with it. It feels like a big departure from the original. And where 28 years later, I think pulled that off with finesse, this movie, not as much. And even doing that video today, talking about a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, it makes sense why they went in this new direction with the film, trying to deliver a film for, a little more for the fans, the people who unexpectedly made that original a hit. So I understand the shift in tone, the shift in direction, but ultimately I wanted a continuation from what we got from the original. I just was not crazy about this new one, but is there still fun to be had with it? Absolutely. But let me know what you think about it, Froggy Fresh. Throw something out there or in the comments section of one of the videos I posted on Megan this week. Let me know. Let me know what you're thinking about this one. Scott Walker's also with us too, saying, how do you feel about returning to Woodsboro? We're returning to Stu's house. I really hope we're not returning to Stu's house. And it's been confirmed we are returning to Sydney's old house. I've heard that through the grapevine, likely for the flashback scene. That's my guess, and that would make sense, right? It would make sense with everything that's kind of rumored to be happening in the movie. So I get that. I'm into something like that. The flashbacks to Woodsboro would be very cool. I'm totally down for that. I don't want to go to Stu's house again. I'm going to be so real with you, Scott. I love Stu. He's probably one of my favorite ghost faces, if not my number one fave. But dude, we've gone to his house enough times. We have seen Stu's house plenty of times in this franchise. I'm good on all that. But Scott, thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate you a bunch. I'm excited to see what those flashbacks are going to get into, man. If they're half as good as anything we saw in Halloween Kills, your boy's going to love it. Let me tell you. I really liked the flashback in Halloween Kills. That's one of my favorite parts of that entire movie. I'm just going to be so real. They did it so well. Recaptured the vibe of the original. Kind of made me want a film from that same crew just doing let's just do something in the 70s with Michael Myers again. Who cares? Who cares, man? Let's just see what happens. RJ Skarenki is with us. Thanks for being a member, man. Appreciate you. You're so ready for Megan 2.0 tomorrow. Enjoy. Let me know what it's all about. Wait, what? Erica's saying, whoa, why does YouTube look like this now? Does YouTube look different? Oh, it looks the same to me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with all that. Wild. Do we have let me know what's up. Is something different? I don't know what's up. I always forget to do this. I was in a little bit of a rush this morning, so sorry, everybody. So as per always happening on this page, we have a super chat goal. If we get 10 of them bad boys, we'll be going for another hour past this. So let's make it happen. Let's see what we can do. 0 out of 10 so far. We just started it though, baby. Anything can happen. So who knows how long the stream may go. Philip Rivera is saying, our guy. What's up, Philip? How's it going? Welcome in. Appreciate you for stopping by. Thanks for talking horror with us. Raptor Crasher is editing their book right now. Probably going to leave soon. Just wanted to say hi. Hi. Hello. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Means a lot. Scream666 is saying, yo, yo. You got some yo-yos, dog? You trying to do some yo-yo tricks on stream right now? That'd be really entertaining. I bet you could do a fucking sick stream with some yo-yo tricks. If you whipped some of that out, people would be like, who is this guy? Be crazy. Panties would be dropping everywhere. I'm kidding. Dogpack79 is saying, I was driving through a tunnel and thinking that Final Destination 7 would be cool if they did a tunnel collapse. Ooh, Dogpack. I like that. I like that a lot. Dude, I don't know if you've ever driven through like the Blue Ridge Mountains before, but you go through 2 different tunnels on that one highway. I can't think of what it is. And every time I go through there, I'm just thinking to myself, what if all of that just comes down? Like, there's a whole mountain on top of me right now, basically. I will, there's no way I'll live through that. No one is living through a mountain crushing them, you know? That could be insane. Ooh, I like a tunnel collapse. Because the other thing, too, about those Blue Ridge Mountain tunnels is that, I mean, it's long. It's like a half a mile, maybe a mile for some of those tunnels. You're going through that for a while. Like, you could get stuck in a traffic jam in there or something, and then you're just forced to be right in the middle of it as, like, the mountain's collapsing. Could be like, just like a really tension-fueled sequence of characters trying to get out in time. Maybe they gotta, go on foot or something out of their cars and just start running. Could be kind of similar to the opening of the 5th movie in that way, on the bridge, but underneath a fucking mountain. I mean, that's awesome. Dogpack, I'm really into that, dude. That theory might just show up in my next Final Destination video. I'm thinking about making another one for next week. And Erica has also thrown out something really interesting. We are like unbelievably close to 1,000 subscribers over on the gaming channel. Guys, if you have not subscribed, please go check it out. It's a little ask. Just hit that little red button. That's all we're asking. We want to get to 1,000 subs on there before the end of the summer. Would be really cool. Make sure to check out that link that Erica is throwing out into the chat. Faith Dorn is saying, hey, Jake, hey, chat. Hope everyone is having a great Friday. I hope you are too, Faith. It's been a week, probably for all of us, but that's okay. We made it through. God dang it. We're here now. It's time to chill, time to relax, hopefully. I know some folks work on the weekends, myself included. And if that's the case, good on you. Good on you, and good luck to you. Let me tell you, it's tough. It ain't easy. So good luck to you. Jace Crawford is saying, yo, Jake, have you heard about the Hand That Rocks the Cradle remake? Yes, Jace, you're reading my mind. You have implanted a chip into my brain. I was editing today's video on Megan, and I was literally thinking about this today. I was actually like, I wonder what's going on with that. I almost went and looked it up. That's really funny. Yeah, I want to know more. I've actually never seen the original. I remember reporting on this when the news first dropped. And I said to myself, it's like all these headlines came up and they're like, oh, it's a remake of a horror classic. I'm like, I've never even heard of this before. Like, it's my job to know about this shit. I've never even heard of this before, which is wild. It's kind of weird. So yeah, I got to watch the original first, but I'll tell you what, anything with Micah Monroe, I'm there day one, dude. She's one of those actresses that just always delivers across the board. Even in, you guys know I have my opinions on Longlegs. I still love most of that movie. The ending is one thing, but oh my God, the rest of it is so good, like so unbelievably good. And Micah Monroe is one of the big reasons for that. She has a very specific role she plays in that movie that I love quite a bit. So I am there day one for that, Jace, let me tell you. Reign of Horror is with us. What's up, my bloody hand-printed friend? How are you? Hope all is well. Same to you, my friend. What's up, what's up? I hope you've resolved whatever situation got your hand so bloody. Riddlemaster668 is saying, hey, Jake, what's your opinion on if Ghostface is possibly just some random obsessed 16-year-old? Sounds like a Ghostface to me. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Ghost faces are just a bunch of weird, greasy little weirdos, and I just hope this movie kind of follows suit, showing us a new kind of greasy little weirdo. So I'm all about that. I'm kind of all about a 16-year-old just obsessed with Sidney Prescott, wants to kill her for whatever reason. Sure, I'm fine with that. I can vibe with that. At I Don't Care For You, I think this is Cody. Oh, this must be what's different. Yeah, it's just showing the ats. All our names in our actual account names versus display names. Yeah, I'm noticing that now too. I didn't realize that until literally just now. I think this is Cody. How's it going? I don't care for you. Saying, hey, Jake and folks, on episode 4 of season 3 of Squid Games. It's so good. How is everyone's Friday? I'm glad you're liking it, dude. I'm going to sit down and probably watch it sometime soon. I'm getting through The Bear right now. I didn't even know season 4 was dropping, and I just saw that just saw that last night. I'm like, oh my god. So I'm watching that show right now. I'm obsessed with The Bear. I love it quite a bit. I'm excited to see where this season goes. But Squid Game is something I do want to tackle at some point. I'm glad you're liking it though. Kyle Scunberg, our penguin friend, is saying, good afternoon, Jake. How have you been doing? I'm chilling. Have you heard any news on Ready or Not 2? Yeah, like a couple of things here and there. We know about a crazy cast list for this movie. Probably I'm not even kidding, the best cast list for a horror movie I'm currently reporting on. I don't say that lightly, dude. We have so the leads are, of course, Samara Weaving coming back from the original. She's amazing. We fucking love Catherine Newton in this house, and she's going to be co-starring in that one alongside Samara, which is great. Then supporting cast gets even nuttier, dude. Nuttier than squirrel shit. Let's can we just say that? We have David Cronenberg, the famed director, master of horror, playing some sort of character in this. What? Okay. And then Sarah Michelle Gellar, also Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Cece, all these different characters that she's played in horror, also joining us this time around. I couldn't be more excited. I remember hearing about Ready or Not 2 and just thinking to myself, whatever, like, okay, that movie doesn't really need a sequel, but I'll see it, whatever. And now the cast list has me just over the moon. I'm a sucker for it now. What can I say? But in terms of things I've heard, the wrapped production recently. It's coming out early next year. So I believe it's like right after, I think it's April, couple of months after Scream 7 comes out, which is cool. So we're getting, new Scream film, then a new Radio Silence flick, which is sick. So I don't know. I'm quite excited. I'm quite excited for it a bunch. I've heard some things through the grapevine about the plot that I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but I am hearing it picks up right where it left off. I don't know if that's, don't take my word for that, but that's what I'm hearing. My Chunky Jordy's throwing $2 out there. Thank you for kicking off our super chat goal tip for the day. Appreciate you a bunch, Gina, saying let's help Jake. Thank you. Means a lot. It's the end of the month. It's a crazy time, let me tell you. Crazy time to make things happen in the world of YouTube. Right at the end of the month here. So I appreciate that a ton, Gina. Thank you. Thank you for the 2. Tom Dark OX is, I think this is Tom. We know Tom, saying, "Oh yeah, the names look different for me too. They sure do." I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Must have been a weird change overnight. Samantha Robinson is saying, "Jake, my MRI came back clean. That's exciting. That's good. I'm glad it's clean. Nothing bad came up. Good to see." Tyler thought that Bloodlines was mid. I'm sorry you feel that way. 6 out of 10 isn't like terrible though. I mean, I'll take a 6 out of 10. That's a passing grade. That's a D. So, I mean, that's not the worst movie you've ever seen. I mean, shit, I'll take that. That's not, I think it's like, my thing is like, if you're saying something's the worst movie you've ever seen, that's like a 0 out of 10, a 1 out of 10. We got to save that. We got to save that for movies that really deserve it. There are some films out there that are incomplete that have been released to the public. That's rough, man. Come on. I mean, how can a finished film be worse than that, right? So fair enough. 6 out of 10. I liked it quite a bit, though. I'll tell you what. I was over the moon about that one. Coming out of the theater with a big old grin on my face, let me tell you. Project Horror 2024, formerly DRMS Productions, saying 3 more weeks until the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. Runtime was revealed, longest in the franchise, almost 2 hours long, clocking in at 1 hour and 51 minutes. Ooh, okay. That's exciting. Means there's going to be jam-packed with a bunch of fun bullshit and chase scenes and kills. I'm here for it. I'm excited for the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. I stopped doing the countdown because we didn't have as much people as excited for it seems. I mean, I'm super pumped. I weirdly have a lot of faith in this movie. I know most people may not, which is like, kind of that's a debate I feel right now. Some people are excited for this one, some not. But as someone who's I've always enjoyed watching these movies, but I've always felt that they could be better personally. And I see a lot of things, these new creatives trying to improve upon that formula, which has me excited. I don't know. I'm here for that. I'm here for whatever sort of thing you can add to it and maybe, twist it in some sort of new way. I'm down for it, man. I'm so excited for the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. I love the way that they're doing the opening scene especially. Like, you can tell that the car accident is going to be a little more thought was put into it, in my personal humble opinion, versus the original. So that to me is already some sort of improvement. I don't know if I'm going to like all the characters though. That's the one thing I guess I'm kind of worried about, but we'll see. We'll see what it's all about. I'm excited. What else do we got? Dog Park is looking forward to Wolf Creek Legacy. I'm excited for that one too. This is the third Wolf Creek film, also a TV series came out from that franchise if you've never seen it. Those two movies, they're freaky as hell. They're scary fucking movies, man. Very real life horror, down to earth, just like this could really be going on somewhere out in the outback. And it's interesting. It feels like Creep, but not found footage. Like Australian Creep, but not found. I think that's one of the most interesting ways I think to describe it. But it's a serial killer doing his thing, and it's fucked up. I like it. I like movies that are just simple and fun like that. Madison, my fiance, is joining us. Hello, Madison. Thanks for being here. I know you're busy at work, but I appreciate you stopping by. We're gonna be live for a very long time this Saturday, playing the new Repo update. So please stop on by for that. It's gonna be fun. Gina really liked The Hand That Rocks the Cradle movie. I know I have to sit down and watch that one. It got that notification that this movie's being remade, and I'm like, this is considered a classic? I've never even heard of this before. This is wild. So I got to sit down and watch that one. I don't know how I missed it. I don't know how I've never heard of it. Like, I got that news that they're doing a remake of it. I'm like, I've never heard of this film. Not once has it come up in my life, which is wild. Yo, at Billy the Puppet 74 has been a member for 2 months. Dude, thank you so much for that support. Really appreciate that a bunch. Saying, good afternoon, everyone. Stu is alive and Adam from Saw is alive. They're both hanging out in the same basement, super greasy and pissed off at some. Stu's bitching about Sydney and Adam is just like, dude, like, Jigsaw made my friend cut off his foot, dude. I guess Dr. Gordon's not his friend, but I had to watch a man saw off his own foot to survive. It's horrible. God. I love it, dude. Thank you for being a member for 2 months. Really appreciate that a bunch. The support of the page means a lot to me. So thanks for being here, dude. Thank you. Thank you. Sean P. Tattoos is saying, Jake, got an hour between doing some tattoos. How's life been treating you? Thanks for being here, Sean. You do tattoos. That's so fucking cool. Like, you can't just throw that out and ask me how I'm doing. How are you doing? What's your life like? What's your day been like? What have you tattooed so far, sir? I need to know. I got this tattoo. Just so you know, I'm not a fucking loser. I do have a tattoo. I'm kidding. But I do have a tattoo. This is my red right hand tattoo. Kind of commemorate that that was a whole year of my life, basically commemorated all in one little tattoo. Little fan film we did for Scream, which was fun. I want to get a Chicken Man tattoo, a short film I worked on last year, which was cool. So I want to get that too. But let us know, Sean P. What's going on with you, dude? You sound like way more interesting than me. So throw something out there. What else do we got going on? Have I seen the trailer to Strange Harvest? Yes. Which one? I just watched like 3 trailers back to back for movies, and they're all kind of mixed up in my brain. That's not the one with the serial killer from the guys that did Grave. No, this is not that movie. This is something else. Not a Strange Harvest. Strange Harvest 2025. No, this is that movie, Mr. Shiny. Okay, yes, I saw this trailer. See, I should have trusted my own brain. Looks really good. Looks really interesting, very fresh. I didn't love the pictures that had come out. I don't like the way the mask looks kind of goofy to me. But I do love the people that are making this film. They made Grave Encounters, and I can't, here's my thing. Here's my thing about Grave Encounters. I don't want to call it underrated because I feel like enough people know about it. But the movie that constantly gets talked about is like, dude, underrated. No one's seen this thing, is Hell House. Listen, Hell House is good. It is a very solid found footage movie, but Grave Encounters is better. Grave Encounters is way scarier. I don't know how more people don't talk about that one when it comes to the found footage equation. So the fact that these guys made a ton of horror movies outside of that, I haven't seen a ton of them, admittedly, but this is another one from those folks, and I'm honestly, for that alone, I'm sold. Oh, you made Grave Encounters? I'm there. That movie scared the hell out of me. Great idea. Kind of did the Backrooms before the Backrooms did it. So just a thought there, Some really cool, what what's that called? Liminal space horror that was approached in that movie, which I think is really bears talking about. I love that movie though. Gina's throwing another super chat out there. Thank you so much, my chunky Jordy. Thanks for the $2. What's this Jason Short rubbish? Hilarious. I love this. I have been meaning to talk about this. You know, Gina, I have to admit, I understand being pissed, being like, why are we getting a short and not a movie? I get it. Trust me, I do. But you know what? It's new Jason content. I'll take it. I have to admit, I'm kind of excited. And for a few reasons. Now, here, let's start off with the bad news. Let's rip the Band-Aid off just real quick. It's coming from the Jason universe people. I know. I can't hear what you guys are saying right now, but I imagine there's a lot of boos. There's a lot of, just tomatoes wailing at your TV screens or phones or whatever you're watching this on right now. I'm so sorry about the mess. But Jason universe folks, they're making a short with Jason potentially going around killing people. Now, here's that's good news. Here's some more good news. It's being done by a fucking awesome director, Mike P. Nelson. Now, Mike made a film that I feel is one of the most criminally underrated from the decade so far. And some of y'all will fight me on this. I don't care. That's totally fine. He made the Wrong Turn remake, and I will sing that film's praises until the end of time, pretty much, because I love it. I thought it was great, and everyone else hated it. It's probably my most contrarian opinion that I have. I love that movie so much. I think it's great. And I love Mike P. Nelson. Everything he's touched that I've seen has been a fucking banger so far. So not only is he doing this, but it's not like he's a stranger to slashers in any variety. He's also helming the remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night that stars your boy Corey Cunningham from Halloween Ends. That drops at the end of the year. So this guy knows slashers. And now he's doing basically the return of Jason kind of to the big screen in a short film version. So is it a full movie? No. But is it something? Is it something with adult Jason with the fucking mask on running around killing people? Yes, it is. Finally. I'll take it. I understand being like, what the fuck is this, Gina? I do. But at least it's something. It's progress being made towards a full-on Jason movie. And the fact that we have some really good creatives behind it too, I'm sure will show some promise. You know, I can't imagine that this is bad. And I really hope I'm not eating those words when this thing comes out. Let me tell you, I really hope I'm not, because this needs to be good. Like, needs to be good, dude. But Gina, I really appreciate you throwing that out there. I've been meaning to talk about that. I have not had the time to put something out about that, unfortunately. But I want to talk about that so bad. At some point, we're making it happen. At some point, we're talking about it. Jason killing people potentially, once again, on film. I'll take it. Sean Tattoos, getting back to us, saying, just tattooed some flowers. I got a cat skull in a little. Ooh, that's okay. That's kind of cool. If you are ever in St. Louis, hit me. We can do the Chicken Man tattoo. Oh, fuck. See, there we go, man. Okay, rock on, man. Sick. I'll have to make it out there. We'll make a pilgrimage or something. We'll do a Chicken Man tattoo. But that is sick as fuck, Sean. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for talking some horror, man. Means a lot. 4K Chris just said, bought the Final Destination 1 through 5 on DVD. Currently, I'm on the 4th movie. Oh, I feel bad for you. Chris, thanks for hanging out with us, though, man. Someone's actually sent me the Blu-ray of 1 through 5. I believe, I don't think he's here, but our friend who used to hang out in the community, Carter Scotland Allen, he actually sent me that in the mail, and I thought that was really cool. Because I was like, I always wanted to buy those movies, and he actually just sent me a Blu-ray of it. I'm like, damn, dude. Appreciate that. Thank you. But love those movies, man. I hear they're doing a 4K collection, thanks to Erica for sending this my way, of all 6 movies. And you know I'm picking that up. I gotta pick that up. That's crazy. Few people are coming in the chat. We got Picky Piggy saying hi, I'm here now. Yo. Rusted Redemption, you did not miss the whole live, I promise. We're hanging out still, making it happen. And yeah, Tom, it is technically an Angry Orchard commercial, but it's Jason killing people. Come on. That's cool. That's so exciting. I'm excited about it. I don't care. I'm excited. If it's a commercial, fine. It's Jason killing people. I'll take it, man. Gemstone Ghoul is saying, hey, Jake, do you think you'll be reviewing Jurassic World Rebirth? Yes. I'm going on Monday to go see this bad boy. Really thankful to the folks at Universal for sending me to that screening. I will be reviewing it. I don't even know when the embargo lifts. Fun fact. I usually have this stuff prepared, but you know what? I can find out in literally like 2 seconds, though. Let me tell you. I am going to be reviewing this, putting out a spoiler-free review as soon as humanly possible, because I'm really excited, dude. Really excited for this one. I've been hearing mixed reviews. Some of my reviewer friends are saying that it's okay, that it's just fine. Usually there's a thing. Oh, yes, I can talk about it. I can talk about it that day. I can talk about it Monday. Okay, sick. So probably Monday night or Tuesday morning, I will have a review out for this one. Spoiler free, of course. But I want to talk, like, my thing about it that I've been hearing that has me really excited is that it's brought back the horror elements, kind of similar to like the original film. I would say even like the third movie kind of has some horror elements to it that I really like. I think the original trilogy just in general has a vibe that the World movies don't. I feel like they're going more for like an action adventure kind of thing in most of the Jurassic World movies, where the Jurassic Parks, they have like at least a little bit of a horror energy about them that I sorely miss throughout the World movies that I'm hearing is being brought back here. That to me, I'm not even kidding, could launch this one into being my favorite of the worlds, and that is what I'm probably looking forward to the most in that one. Gemstone Ghoul, thank you for also throwing out a buck there. Means a lot. Thank you. But yeah, no, I'm very excited for this one, and I will absolutely be doing a review on it as soon as humanly possible. So sometime Monday. You know what? I'll try Monday night, but we'll see. We'll see if I have the energy that late. We'll see what's up. But I appreciate it. Paula Fitzhenry is saying Halloween Aftermath is a fan film, and the first trailer is out. Okay, love me some Halloween fan films. That's always fun. My favorite one that I've seen is that Jimmy Champagne short. That's supposed to be like a deleted scene from Halloween 2018. I don't know if you guys have seen that before. It's just called Happy Halloween. Really well done. Probably my favorite that I've seen out of all of them. Jake Critical J is saying on Scream 7, Ethan will play a head doctor at a mental asylum. I'm hearing that through the rumor vein. Not much else to say there, I feel, but yeah, it sucks that he's a smaller character. That's my one thing I guess I could throw out. Ethan Embry, I feel, is a great actor. He's been in a lot of projects that I really love, and I want to see him maybe even be a Ghostface killer. I think that would be fun for him to be more of a, play a bigger role in some variety. Rooney Dave VT is saying, just saw the trailer for the new movie Together. What I see is a cursed couple. Yeah, it's supernatural. It seems like it's going to be a commentary on codependency. I really think I'm really excited for this one quite a bit. I just switched it to live chat, by the way, Madison, thank you for the update. But yeah, no, I'm excited for Together quite a bit. It looks like it's going to be just a really visceral, gory, body horror focused supernatural horror flick, and those are some of my favorites, let me tell you. Evil Dead 2013 is one of my all-time favorite just movies in general. I think it's like the way I describe it is it's the blueprints for a perfect horror film. It's everything I could possibly want. Great character development with some emotional moments, but also bloody, disgusting, hard to watch kills and maiming of characters, which is like, oh my fucking God, that's what it makes me feel like the entire time. That sounded kind of orgasmic, didn't it? That's kind of gross. But but man, Together seems to have a lot of those same staples, and I am here for it, man. Now, obviously, we can't talk about this movie without the weird thing kind of centering around it. There's a little bit of controversy, a little bit of drama with Together, because we've had this other party somewhere. I can't remember exactly all the details perfectly, but someone has come out and said that this idea was stolen from us, and that Michael Shanks and is it Dave Franco? Dave Franco and Allison Brie allegedly stole this idea and made it their own. But then Michael Shanks has come out and said that, well, no, it just seems like we had a similar idea around the same time. And that's just how it happens. I guess they've been Michael, the director, has been working on this since 2019 to get this thing made. And it's inspired from a lot of his own real life events. And, my thing about this is I'm going to trust Michael for now. If more information presents itself, okay. But as of right now, I'm just like, all right, I will see this movie. I'll believe you. That's all we got. That's all we can base this off of. And I kind of said this in a video I did Thursday, but I just feel like we're going to be able to tell. You know what I mean? If you watch a movie and it's like, it's not authentic, it doesn't feel like it's really as personal as it could have been, I feel like you might even just be able to tell just from seeing it. So I'm weirdly excited to see this movie even more now, just to see what it's all about. Is it stolen? Is it, what is it? My thing that another reason I'm really rooting for it is it's getting all these rave reviews out of, Sundance and all the other film festivals it's been to. It would be shocking to me if it was stolen at this point. It feels like a film that is very personal, very well done, very well executed, and I would be shocked to know that a creative out there would do something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm someone who's naive and thinking that I don't want to assume the worst in people, but that's just the person I am. I don't want to just immediately default to that, I guess. So that's where I'm at with it. But Gina's also throwing another buck out there. Thank you, Gina. And we also have Scream 666 throwing $2 out there saying, "You about to die? What's your last movie?" Damn. Dude didn't put a question mark. The question mark came kind of late there. I was like, "You're about to die? What?" Ghostface like pops out of the closet or something, tries to stab me. I just karate chop him in the nutsack like you do. What's my last movie? What's the last movie I'd want to watch before I go? I don't even know if I'd want to watch a horror movie knowing that I'm gonna die afterwards. You know what I mean? That feels kind of awful. Feels kind of I don't know. That's so tough to say. Maybe something like Jaws, because like at least Jaws is like a really happy ending. Like I think I would want the last thing I experience to be something kind of happy, right? I think it's fun to get into a tragedy because it's like, oh, that's brutal. That's insane. But like, I'm not going to die after I see it usually. Maybe Jaws. Tyler just said Human Centipede. You're crazy, bro. That's some wild shit right there, but I love it. I love it, man. What else is going on? Hey, we got Treston saying, "Hey, Jake, yo, what's up? What's up?" Fort Misery Gaming's also here with us, saying they actually already did Jurassic World on the Mystery Monday this week. I missed it. I'm bummed out that I missed it, but I'm still seeing it early. Y'all saw it early on Monday. I'm seeing it early this Monday too. Y'all saw it earlier than me, so y'all are cool. But some of my reviewer friends who actually got to make it to that screening said it was just okay. Is what they thought. But I don't know, man. There's one thing I really want from Jurassic Park at this point, and I think this movie could deliver, depending on where we go. We'll see, though. We'll see what's up. Sean P. Tattoos is saying, "My most anticipated horror movie for 2025 has got to be Weapons." Ooh, baby. Ooh, damn, baby. Weapons looks good. I'm very excited for Weapons because I just don't know what the fuck it's going to be about. I feel like we know some things about it, some things not as much. Very mysterious film. A lot of weird things happening in that trailer that doesn't really add up, It almost seems like with the premise that they're showcasing to us, it's going to be kind of more of a slow burn kind of, the kids all disappear and we're trying to figure out how it happened. That does not seem to be the case from the rest of the shots we've seen from the trailer. However, we're seeing like the characters who we've seen previously. Benedict Wong's character, for instance, there's a pretty viral photo that's been going around from the movie of him. He's in the trailer very calm and collected, like the principal of this school, trying to figure out what's going on here. And now we get a new shot from the latest trailer where he's got blood coming out of his eyes and he's like freaking out, running around attacking people. What is happening in this movie? I don't know, but I'm so sold. I'm just from that alone, I'm sold. I want to see what this is all about. I'm so with you there, Sean. I think it's my most anticipated because it's so mysterious. Like there are franchise continuations I'm very excited for too, but Weapons, I don't know what the fuck I'm in for with that one. No idea. So Sean, I agree. I'm very excited for that movie. Cannot wait. We have Gumpified saying, "Kind of angry with Hell House Lineage. I understand the director's value story over genre, but throwing away found footage altogether. Crazy talk." Yeah, it's not going to be found. It's not going to be found footage. Is that legit? I feel like I haven't really done too much research on that movie. I got hair stuck in my damn headphones. How does that even happen? Ow. Don't grow your hair long, fellas. Oh, man. Ouch. I got a bald spot now. Hell House Lineage, not found footage. That's dumb. That's dumb AF, as the kids are saying. Fuck. No, I don't like that at all. I know that the director made a non-found footage movie recently. I never got around to checking it out. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's the inspiration, just trying to move away from the past, move on to something else. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. What else do we got going on here? Treston. I almost said Greston because you mixed, that's your first name and last name. Treston Gale. Saying, do y'all know that Jenna Ortega looks like Art the Clown? Are we talking about the same Jenna Ortega? the short Wednesday woman versus the large, scary clown who is covered in blood and face paint? I don't know where you're going with that, Treston, but welcome in. Thank you for being with us. There's another Jenna Ortega who like hangs out by the pier and she's just covered in clown makeup and she's really tall and lanky. I don't know. Anthony Rich is saying kind of sus. You playing a Mogus over there? That's an old joke. God, I dated myself a little bit with that one. Gina's throwing another $1 in there. Thank you, Gina. Thank you for the support. Means a ton. Thank you. What's up? Sean P. Tattoos is saying, anybody else feel like Bring Her Back was a really good freaking movie, but you would probably never watch it again? You know, Sean, I'm kind of with you on that one. I did like Bring Her Back quite a bit. Really upsetting movie. I went out of it I was feeling bad leaving the theater for that one with how it ends. I won't spoil it too much. It's fairly recent. But it is like, I heard someone from Bloody Disgusting describe it as the feel-bad movie of the summer, and I couldn't agree more with that. It's just a dour film. It's a kick in the nuts of a movie is kind of what it is. Maybe not as bad as something like an Ari Aster picture, but it's out there. Yeah, I don't know if I want to revisit that one like how I do with Talk to Me. Talk to Me, I just feel like was such a fun movie. It had some horror to it and some moments especially that were like just like, ooh, that's creepy. That ending was atmospheric and fucked up and kind of enigmatic for kind of just not really explaining every single side of the story. I liked that though. I thought that was cool. Doesn't really show you the fallout of those events, which I feel like says more than if it were to show what was actually going down there. So Bring Her Back, I feel it just feels a little more of an open and shut case. I don't know if I need to go back to it. You know what I mean, Sean? I thought it was really well done, and I'm glad that there was no sophomore slump for the Rocka Rocka dudes. But I'm oddly just hoping to return to the Talk to Me universe, I guess. Weirdly enough, but we'll see. You know, we'll see what's up with whatever they do next. But I'm kind of with you. Honestly, walking out of the theater, I felt that way. I was like, that was really good, but I'm good. I'm good on seeing that one again. I felt the same way with Heretic from last year. Really great movie, but do I need to revisit that one? Would I buy it? No, honestly, I have no interest in rewatching that movie. I still think about it from time. Both of those movies I think about all the time, but I don't know. I'm good. I'm good on both of them. What else is happening here? Picky Piggy says, I wish the Five Nights at Freddy's movie had Nicolas Cage in it. I mean, we'll always have Willy's Wonderland, you know? And you also, this is an opinion that I always express, which is probably wild. But yeah, Willy's Wonderland is a better movie than the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I will, that's a hill I'll die on. Warts and all, I'll take Willy's Wonderland all day over Five Nights at Freddy's. I had way more fun with Willy's Wonderland. Way more fun. Holy shit. What a blast of a film that was. Froggy Fresh is back from Megan 2. That's a 2-hour movie, my guy. Damn. How long has it been? It's been 37 minutes. Did you speed run? Did you watch that movie like in ×4? That's like you know how you can do that on TikTok where it's like if someone's taking too long to say some shit, you just kind of like hit the button and it like goes faster. Did you just do that with the whole movie? That's crazy. Froggy Fresh, you're from the future, I think. Marcus from I Shot Him 6 Times is saying, which one of the friends in the new I Know What You Did Last Summer will be the killer? Ava is numero uno on my list. What's up, Marcus? How's it going, man? It's been too long. Been too long since we talked, my guy. What's up? I'm with you, dude. After watching the trailer a couple of times, she seems to be the only person who's really not being chased by the killer. A lot of suspicious moments throughout the trailer that makes me think it's her. She also has the most dialogue throughout that latest trailer, which I just feel like the killers are always running their mouths, trying so hard to, put the blame somewhere else opposed to themselves. It's a lot of things that I've picked up on watching other murder mystery films that Ava, whatever, however you pronounce that name, seems to be exemplifying, seems to be portraying in and of herself. So I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what the killer situation is going to be in this new one. I wouldn't be shocked if we do 2 of them, though. That's another thing, Marcus. I feel like we could have 2 killers in this new movie. I totally see this being the Screamification of I Know What You Did Last Summer, like entirely, just the Scream franchise eating this thing up, turning it into itself, essentially. But do I really mind? Not really, honest. Maybe some people are going to be like, this is too Scream. You know, this isn't I Know What You Did Last Summer anymore. And that's fine. That's a entirely valid opinion. For me personally, I'm kind of excited. I feel like this franchise couldn't go on without that, without a Screamification being put to it. So I'm here for it. We'll rock and roll. We'll rock and roll with it. Dogpack is asking a good question. Am I a fan of practical effects or CGI effects? My answer, both. I love both when they're done well. I have friends who do both, and they both are very passionate about both sides. And whenever I listen to them talk, they just make so much sense, you know? The big thing about VFX is that they're rarely done right. In the modern day, I think they've been done way better, like especially in horror. Like there's a lot of VFX that I think most people don't even realize are VFX. My friend Josh Petrino did a lot of the VFX for Terrifiers 2 and 3, and you wouldn't have known that otherwise, would you? Because it's marketed as a film with practical effects, because everyone loves practical effects, but nobody likes VFX. The difference, I feel, is that practical effects are more known to be done well, where VFX not so much. You know, a lot of people are familiar with the Thousands horror films that just kind of loosely threw in some blood animations that look fine. You know, it's serviceable, but it's like, that's clearly digital. Final Destination movies, I love you, but oh my God, you're the culprit here. y'all put a bad name on VFX, let me tell you. But I think that when practical or VFX are done poorly, it shows, and you can see it. You know, you can kind of tell like, that doesn't really look so good. One way or the other. I've seen both done poorly, and I've seen both done really well. And there's 100% of difference between the two. So I think it's just important that no matter which route you go, do it right, do it the right way, put the time and effort into making it look the best it possibly can. And I will also say, I think the best way to go about doing it is the mixture of both. You know, do practicals and then clean it up with VFX. Don't just try to VFX over nothing. You know, I've seen that done before. Sci-fi original movies. I'm looking at you, and yikes, doesn't look great. Teddy is with us saying, Jacob, hello, Teddy. How are you? You got to play some Repo with us this weekend, dude. There's a new update for Repo, baby. So let us know if you can hop in for that. That'd be fun. What else is happening? Gina's throwing another $2 out there saying, hit the like, please. Thank you, Gina. We only need 3 more super chats. Look at that. Look at that, fellas. Gina, thank you so much for all the support tonight. I really do appreciate you a ton. Means a lot. You're also saying hi to Marcus, which I love. Good stuff there. Lots of love in the community. What movie let me down the most this year so far? Clown in a Cornfield, easily. I did not like this movie. I was bummed because they were marketing it as like, you know, new slasher, good new mystery and stuff, and it's based off of a really popular book. I had some high expectations for it, honestly, man, and I didn't have high expectations. I had like middle of the road expectations, like, oh, I'm gonna like this. This is gonna be fun. This looks like something up my alley, and Man, I mean, the acting and the writing is so stiff and unnatural. It killed the whole. It renders the movie unwatchable. Like, I don't care about any of the other things that film might have done. A baseline principle for making a movie is absent from that film. I don't know, if you can't write dialogue, if you can't have actors that can perform things that feel real, just really, really, really takes me out of it. And I don't know, that was just a massive letdown. I honestly can't even believe that got released in theaters. That's where I'm at with it personally, but really the whole thing is just bizarre to me. I don't know. I just don't know what happened. I'm hearing from folks who really liked the book, that the book is better. And I almost like, I'm actually so upset with the film. I want to sit down and and read the book, because I'm like, what the fuck happened? I don't know, dude. Gives me some major written by AI vibes, which I don't love. Matt's 414 is saying, are you looking forward to seeing VHS 8? Oh my fucking God, yes. I'm dying to get an update on this, which I am scouring every corner of the internet for something on this. And let me tell you, I've found something, motherfuckers. So here's the thing. Go over to Dead Meat's page and go check out some of his recent shorts that he's posted. He got a package from Shudder celebrating their 10-year anniversary. Hell yeah. He's cooler than me. I get it. I mean, he kind of deserves that. He's, been building a platform for way longer than I have. But interesting thing about that is in the little letter that they sent him, it said, hey, we have new installments of Hell House and VHS coming out this year, motherfuckers. I keep saying that because I'm intense when it comes to VHS. Oh, I need it in my eyeballs. But here's the thing. Here's why that's an update. Here's why that's even an update. Here's why that's exciting in the first place. Because we got an update late last year after Beyond was a huge success on Shudder that VHS 8 is happening. But unlike literally all of the other movies that have come to Shudder recently from the VHS franchise, we did not get a list of directors who's on this project. Why is that? I think it's because they're going to announce it all around the same time, and that announcement is coming very soon. So here's the other thing that usually happens, or has happened with literally the last 4 entries in the franchise. We've usually gotten like an initial trailer sometime around July or August, and then like some other piece of marketing closer to the release date. Then it releases that first week of October. That can be said about literally VHS 94, 99, 85, and beyond. All 4 of those. I think the announcement is coming for VHS 8. Like we're on the precipice of it, and I don't want to get everyone's hopes up. I really don't. But I've seen a list. I've seen a list of directors that may or may not be true. Could be. And if the movie would have to be in the can if it's releasing in October this year. So if that's the case, this is the potential list of directors that it could be. For the big one that's like, holy shit, is this true? What's going on with this? Is Damien Leone. And dude, Damien Leone doing found footage, I can't even express to you how crazy that is. Like I would lose my mind. I would just head explode, blood and brains everywhere. I would be so excited for that, man. That would be so cool. Him and VHS, it's like 2 of my favorite things right now happening in horror meshing together. Holy what? Awesome. Jane Schoenbrunn was another one. I don't think I'm pronouncing her last name right, but she made the absolutely fantastic I Saw the TV Glow from last year, one of my favorite horror films from 2024. Really excellent movie, really big standout. She has a new movie on the way too, so if she just made a short for this, she's been busy. There was another I think Julia DeCorno was another one, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the list exactly. I'll pull it up at some point. There was like 2 unknowns too, which like that also is very consistent with the other VHS movies. They usually have like some up and comers, and that I thought was dope. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a real list, but if that's a real list, I'm gonna lose my mind. I guess that's my point. But yes, I'm excited for VHS 8. Sorry about the long answer. Gina's throwing another buck in there. Oh my God, 2 more super chats and we're there, ladies and gents. We got 13 minutes. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, Gina, thank you. Thank you for the support. It means a lot. Dovis is saying I'd watch Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber is a great, I love that movie. That is one of my favorite comedies. That's up there for me. Love that one quite a bit. I need to do a Club Penguin stream. So, were you saying that on the gaming stream the other day? Is that what you were saying? Put up Club Penguin? I think that was in like hour 5 of that Dead by Daylight stream that we did that was so long. And I was like losing my mind towards the end of it. That was fun. That was a good time. Longest I've ever streamed, 6 hours straight. That was intense. Marcus is saying about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Bro, I agree there will be 2 killers, but I also think there could be 3. But the 3rd killer goes unrevealed until the sequel. I think this film will end on a cliffhanger like Scream 7 could. You know, Marcus, I am absolutely getting a vibe from the new I Know What You Did Last Summer that they're going to try to stretch this across multiple movies. We're hearing that Brandy Norwood somehow has involvement in this movie. That's a big rumor, especially after she put out there saying like, hey, Carla was still alive. I'm still in this universe. Where's my phone call? No one called me. No one called me to be in the new movie. Jennifer Caton Robinson, I think is her name, allegedly hit her up, is what we heard. Allegedly hit her up and said, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's figure something out. So I'm guessing Brandy's popping up in like a post-credit scene or something, or maybe at the end. I don't know. Some kind of cliffhanger to set up another movie, right? I could totally see that being the case. And here's the thing. Let's say you have your movie like in the can. You would already film something to say like, hey, here's this cliffhanger to set up another movie so that we can do that eventually. A lot of these, new continuations to franchises have been doing that. How do you add on to that? How do you make it even more interesting? You introduce a character that wasn't there the entire time that could pop up in a second movie. Brandy Norwood comes back for a post-credit scene. It's a little tiny 2-minute thing that maybe they filmed in a day, but it would be enough to build excitement on top of what is already there in the movie, so that more people will want to see it. I totally see that being the case, if I'm being real. I think that the new 28 years later, that sequel is definitely going to be doing something similar to that, because we have Jim returning at the very end, as confirmed by director Danny Boyle. I'm sure they're doing something similar to that. I wouldn't be shocked. So, Marcus, I think you might be onto something there. That would be cool. Dogpack79, any news on Thanksgiving 2? We did hear from star Nell Verlack that they are going to start shooting it this summer, which they're likely beginning filming sometime soon, I imagine. I don't think we're getting it this year. I would not count on that at all. But the other thing, too, is Eli Roth has kind of been busy with a couple of things around the last couple of months or so. He started up his own production company, essentially, which has got a really unique spin to it. They're putting out their first movie here pretty soon called Jimmy and Stiggs, which if you guys haven't seen the trailer for that, it looks pretty good. Looks totally wild. But what's up? What's up with all that? Well, that movie's coming out. He's working on kind of figuring all that stuff out. And my guess is that it's delayed the release, just the production in general of Thanksgiving 2. So my guess is we don't get it this year, but maybe next year we'll get the release. They're going to shoot it this summer, edit it, do post-production throughout the wintertime, and then we'll probably have it sometime next November. So a little bit of a wait on that one, probably a year and a half, but I imagine we'll get it as soon as possible. Hopefully. Jason Carpenter has been a member for 28 months. Wow, that's wild. 28 months later. Oh shit, that's insane, Jason. Well, thank you for that, man. Appreciate you a ton for the support. Saying Megan 2.0 was dumb fun at its finest. I still prefer one over this one, but appreciate them doing something different. Story gets messy in the last act. 7.5 out of 10. It's a mess, but it's a fun mess. And that's what that's the fun that I got out of it. It's not a movie like the original where I was like, okay, I got to pick that one up. I see myself revisiting that one. I'm a one and done with Megan 2. I definitely do not need to see that movie again, but I'll tell you what, I did have fun with it. There were some good moments, some good character moments, some silly, it definitely got a laugh or two out of me for sure. There was a couple of moments I was goofing. But yeah, I agree. It's at least it tried something different. I can't knock a film for trying to be ambitious, but did everything work for me? Not really. I got to be real. The spy angle is undercooked. I don't like the way they marketed that movie, just showcasing the very few horror sequences all in the trailers, just so that they would have horror sequences in the trailer, essentially. It feels a little bit like a trick, you know what I mean? It feels like, hey, you like the first movie, come see this one, and here's something else entirely. But I don't know. I mean, I get it. I did a whole video talking about why the approach was different this time around. There's a reason, there's a motivation for it, not just to trick people to do a cash grab or something, obviously. It still feels in line tone-wise with the original, I feel, but I don't know. I remember I walked out of the theater, I was like, that just wasn't the first movie. That's what I was worried the first movie was going to be. You know what I mean? And it just didn't really hit for me, but I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. For me, the franchise is the first movie. I like the first one. I don't know if I'm going to like Megan 3, which apparently is already being talked about, or this spin-off movie, but we'll see. We'll see what it's all about. I hope they're good. I really do. Gina's throwing another buck out there. Thank you, Gina. Appreciate you a ton on that. And we also got a super chat from JDC93. What is up, my dude? Saying, hey, Jake, hope you're good. Best movie to smoke to? That's a great question. I'm fucked up. I like to, if I'm going to smoke, watch a movie, I'm going to put on something really fucking scary, because then it's even more intense. So I'm probably not the best person to ask, but if you want to watch a goofier movie, and just be cracking up to something, I think a campier movie is definitely something you're going to want to smoke to typically. I think the scary movies are always a good time on a little bit of something, if you know what I'm saying. Garlic cookies, if you hear me on that. I'm trying to, let me just look at my collection real quick. Let me ponder the orb while I think about this. I think, dude, the Scream movies, honestly, man, I think the Scream movies are great to get baked to. They're just silly and fun and dumb. You can kind of just turn your brain off and have a good time with them. What else is up? What else is up here? Oh, the VHS movies, dude. The VHS movies are like made for stoners, I think, because it's like some. Here's what happens if you're like, what is smoking like, Jake? If you just like you'll just talk about the most random shit. You'll just come up with some crazy things and you'll just laugh about it. And I feel like VHS lends itself to something like that because it's like, here's this gigantic stork that's poking into people's heads, sucking their brains out and stealing babies. That is perfect conversation topic for a stoner. So, man, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you want a good horror series to get a little baked to, I think VHS is absolutely the move. There we go. We lost some viewers once we started talking about marijuana, so that's brutal. Brutal how that happens. Apollo Balboa is saying, Jake, being this is the 30th. Oh, hang on, Apollo. I'll get to that in 2 seconds. JDC, I didn't thank you again. Thank you for the $2, my friend. Thank you for supporting the page. Thank you for letting us hit our super chat goal, baby. Let's go. We'll be hanging out for another hour now. Apollo Balboa is saying, Jake, being this is the 30th anniversary. I'm like, who is Anne? The 30th anniversary of Marine's death. Could Hank Loomis play a role in Scream 7? I mean, we could definitely see him in a flashback sequence. What's going on with that? Because as we know from Scream 3, they were kind of going at it, right? Is it Scream 3 that we learned? No, it's the first movie that we learned that. We just see it, I think, in Scream 3, I think is what it is. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely see that. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know. It's tough to say what they're actually going to do in this supposed flashback, which I've heard through the grapevine. That's why everyone's coming back. Again, I'm a third party source on this, baby. Take that with a grain of salt, but I've heard it through the grapevine. It's flashbacks. That's why we're bringing everybody back. I don't want to kill all the hype. I know the Stu people are going to lose their fucking minds. But that's just what I've heard. And I'm not even just saying that because that's what I want it to be. That's just, I swear to God, that's what I've heard. But Marine's death, if that's the flashback, if that's why we're going back to Woodsboro, that's why we're bringing back all these legacy characters. I imagine it's probably going to shed a light more so on Roman's involvement, because that's something we really didn't get to see, right? What did we kind of got to know everything we needed to know about Hank Loomis and Marine. We kind of got to know everything we needed to know about Cotton Weary. His involvement in the situation. I feel like all these other little things that just build it up, I don't know if that's really the important part. I feel like it's going to show us something we didn't know about it previously. That's why we're going back to it in the first place. Roman could have been there with Billy and Stu that night. We could see their interactions, something else that happened. I honestly, knowing how much this movie is going to be about Stu in particular, I feel like it's going to be something with him. So, Marine dies. We get that happening. Maybe Stu comes home or something along those lines and his sister catches him, What were you doing? What's going on? Why are you covered in blood? What's happening with all of this? Maybe she kept this secret for all those years and feels bad about it, right? That's kind of my loose theory about what could be happening in the opening. I feel like that could be the case. Because I feel like it's going to be something that just like a character could have prevented it, but didn't. Said nothing when they could have said something and ended all of it before it even started. And wouldn't that be so fitting? Wouldn't that be such a fitting thing with where we are in the world right now? And also with what the hell's going on in this universe, you know what I mean? To know that someone could have stopped Billy and Stu before they created the Ghostface moniker as a thing to begin with, I feel like would be so tragic. And another thing with that, another reason why I'm like bringing up Stu's sister is everybody wants that. Everyone wants to know more about Leslie Mocker. I personally don't give a fuck. I'm more interested in Stu as a character than I am this random sister character that was created in the 5th film just for a little bit of fan service. But if you do something really interesting with her character like this and say she knew about it the whole fucking time, she could have prevented all of this. That's a whole new question. That's a whole new thing to throw into the question. That's a whole new thing to be thinking about and be like, oh my God, Why wouldn't you say so? You know, you could have stopped all of this from happening. That's crazy. That's interesting to me. So that's kind of where, I don't know, that's where I'm at with whatever the Scream opening scene or Scream flashback is going to be. I kind of hope it's something like that, gives us a new something about the Marine murder that kind of kicked all this off in the first place. That would be cool. That would be fresh. That'd be something we didn't already know in this series, because man, I love Screams 5 and 6, but there's a lot of times where they're just kind of repeating shit that's already happened, and I'm like, we get it, dude. we get it. Let's move on to the next thing. Oh my God. So for them to throw something out that's like just fresh about the Marine murder, something we didn't know all this time, that's cool as fuck. I'd be into that. That's what I'm really hoping for in terms of whatever the hell that's going to be about. Project Horror is saying, according to a website called Box Office Theory, I Know What You Did Last Summer is expected to make between 19 and 28 million on the opening weekend, on a possible $20 million budget. Sequel is definitely happening. And that's pretty good for an opening weekend for a $20 million budget. Yeah, it definitely needs to make like about, what is that, like 50 million to break even though, with, you know, advertising costs and all that other bullshit. But I mean, if it has a strong second weekend, I think it absolutely will do that. That's a really that's really good numbers right there. That would be cool. That would be cool if that was the case. I don't mind 90s horror coming back. It's been really fun to see what's been going on in the Scream universe. Now that could be happening with I Know What You Did Last Summer. So run it. See what's going on with that. It seems like that movie's building more and more hype as time goes on too. Like at first, I feel like not a lot of people really cared. Now, as we're getting closer, I think people are really getting into the vibes of it. So that I don't know, that has me excited. A Krenich is with us saying, hope everyone is doing well. Yo, welcome in. Dean Renner, one of our channel members, is here too. What's up, Dean? Thanks for hanging out. Yo. Dovis is saying Final Destination needs to be set in space where astronauts save the Earth from an asteroid. Then death comes back for everyone on Earth. So it's Armageddon with Final Destination. That's crazy. I love that. That's wild, dude. I would not mind that. Jake, you should do a 6-hour stream on your main channel. Picky Piggy, I would. I would, but I talk the entire time. Like I could do it with somebody else. If someone else was here, okay, I can make that happen. But like just from the hour that we've been going, my voice is going to be roached when I'm done with this. You know, what's nice about the gaming channel is it's like I can kind of take a minute to like do something in the game and then comment or something, which it's a little more it's a little more relaxing. It's a little more like, okay, I can perform still, but I'm vibing out and playing some games. I'm not talking the entire, you know, couple hour span. This is a little more, I don't know if I could do longer than 2 to 3 hours on this page. I think I would just sound like this. By the time we got to the end, I'd be like, hi guys. I'd just be breathing like that. It would be sad on it. It would honestly be it would be just like people would be like, oh man, I gotta turn away from this. I don't know what's going on with that. What's the best movie that came out in 1967? I don't even know if you're saying 1967. You got 1967. What's the best movie that came out in year 7? I don't know. What were the cavemen talking about in year 7? What was all the rage back then? That's an @ right there with a bunch of letters and numbers. SSJ_SK1P9Y is saying father and stepson duo ? That could be fun. I'm not even gonna lie. Killer reveal for Scream 7. I'm really guessing it's gonna be a mirrored version of Sydney and her daughter. It's gonna be like a motherly figure and then like a younger character. I honestly, early predictions just based off of cast alone, not really knowing anything concrete about the characters. There's rumors out there. Everyone's already got names for the characters. We don't know if that's true or not yet. So I don't know. I don't know about all that. But father and stepson duo, could it be a mother and daughter? Could it be Anna Camp and McKenna Grace? I mean, these are actresses, whatever, that have played, kind of different kinds of characters before in the past, especially McKenna Grace. I'm watching what is it called? The Handmaid's Tale. She's on there, and she's a very aggressive character on that show, let me tell you, I could totally see her being a ghost face just based off of her character in that show, which is really interesting. So I don't know, man. I'm almost kind of hope. I don't even care if it's expected. If you give me a good performance from the ghost faces, I almost care more about that than anything. Especially, I rewatch Scream 6 quite a bit. It's probably at this point, probably my most rewatched Scream movie, or the one that's like the most fresh on my brain. And like, I don't even care that I can guess the killers. Like, there's some insane moments with them at some point that I just think is so much fun. Quinn is one that's really grown on me. Dermot Mulroney, I've always felt like he was just so hamming it up. He's a cheese laced ham in that movie, and I think it's great. It's ridiculous. But McKenna Grace, she's played killers before. She's had kind of in the middle characters. I think she could do it. I think she could play a really good ghost face in this new movie. I shot him 6 times and saying, do you think a teaser for Scream 7 could be featured in the previews leading into I Know What You Did Last Summer based on them both hitting 90s slashers? That would be so ideal, but honestly, I don't. We had a little tiny update come from Marco Beltrami saying that he's not going to be finished with the score until August, which that's usually like the last thing that's done with the movie, and then they cut the trailer. They got to finish post-production first. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to rush out a trailer without any music. That one, come on. That's like half the fun of a trailer, all the tease of what this thing's going to sound like as well. Underrated, doesn't get talked about as much aspect of trailers, but I remember the Scream 5 trailer especially had totally different music than what we were expecting, like in the previous 4 films. And some people liked it, some people did not. I was one of the people who really did not, because I love the Marco Beltrami score, especially of the original. The Scream, another thing, I'm so going off the rails here, but man, Marco Beltrami's like everything for Scream 2, I feel like is phenomenal. I don't know if you guys have listened to that or not. You probably have, but man, that one doesn't get enough credit. That's a really good score for a movie. Really solid stuff there. But point being, no, I don't think that's going to come out alongside that one, even though it would be perfect. But it is opposing companies technically, so that might be kind of part of the reason why it won't be. But I don't. It's all horror. It's all horror at the end of the day. So who knows? Kyle the Pro saying I can see them making 2 more Final Destination films. Do the trilogy, baby. That's kind of what we're doing these days with franchise continuations. We're making it a trilogy, whether you like it or not. Damn it. I'm not against that though. Final Destination, they've done nothing but impress with that latest movie for me. Ned Schneebly's guitar. What's up, Ned Schneebly? Saying, what's up, Jake? What up? My theory was that Leslie did try to stop it, but that led to a whole lot of PTSD, especially by the time she had her own family. The mockers were shunned. She was in AA with Christina. Okay. I see where you're going with that. Like, she tried to stop it, but no one believed her, didn't have the manpower or something along those lines. Maybe has like some sort of guilt about it. Well, kind of went nuts for it. Started drinking. I could see that. I feel like we're all, this has got to be what the movie's about. You know what I mean? It's got to be about some more background, how that original event affected other people in the universe, not just Sidney, Gale, and Dewey and all them. It's got to be about that in some way, shape, or form. We're going back to the original, but hopefully with purpose this time. And we're talking about this, and I know you've heard me say it a million times. This franchise is obsessed with the original movie. This, though, I don't mind, because at least you're putting a new spin on it. You have a reason to be going back to the original, where Screams 5 and 6 were like, remember that, that to me is just the equivalent of like hanging out with a buddy and then he's like telling stories about when you guys were teenagers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that from a new movie. I want like something like this, where it's like, give me a whole new perspective on the original Scream. That is something to chew on. That's something to talk about. That gives me a reason to go and rewatch the original movie and be like, oh my God, all of this was happening at the same time. Scream 5 and 6 are cool though, because it makes me want to rewatch 4 again. Because you're thinking about, well, Sam's here the entire time. Well, Sam knows about Kirby. She's technically a part of this equation, which is interesting. So I guess it does that for me. But all the callbacks to the original, I just don't care about in Screams 5 and 6. It's whatever. But I like this idea, the idea that we're reinventing how we thought of that original movie, how it affected more people in the town of Woodsboro outside of just what we already know. That could be cool. That could be something right there. Even if it is a little fetched, it's a little far-fetched in terms of that's the route we're going to take for a new Scream movie. Whatever. do your thing. That's fine. I get it. Sometimes that's where the story's got to go. Joseph is saying, I was thinking that it would take place in like a New Year's Eve countdown in New York City for Scream 7. Is that what you're talking about? I remember when we were talking about Scream 7 initially, when it was way more fun to talk about it. My theory was that it was going to be in a snowy New York City. That would have been so cool. I would have loved that. That would have been so much fun. Snowy New York would have been sick as fuck. Ghostface in the snow, just in general, I think would be awesome. Maybe one day we'll get that. Noelle is saying, did you go bald again? No, I swear to God, I'm never doing that again. The last time I shaved my head, I was like worried. I just was so worried the entire time it wasn't going to come back the right way. I just got out of the shower, so like, I don't know what's going on with my hair. I was just kind of like, I don't got time to figure all this out, so I'm just going to do that real quick and put it back in the hat. There we go. I'm not even kidding. I got out of the shower like 5 minutes before this. It's been a day. it's been a day. It's been a damn week. It's been a damn fucking month, man. So Noelle, no, I promise I won't do that to you again. I shaved my head for 2 movies now, and I think that's it. That's gonna be it. We're good with that. We're good with shaving my head. I'm gonna grow it out all long now though, because Noelle, we have people like you who haven't been hanging around the channel the entire time, So the last time some folks saw me back in last spooky season, I had like a shaved head. Now is kind of the time where people start to roll back in, and they're gonna see me with like Gandalf hair. That's my goal. Can I get like a Gandalf thing going on? Can I wear a robe and start like doing spells and shit by the time we get to this spooky season? That's my goal. Spells and shit, baby. You're also talking about Terrifier 4. We kind of got some details on Terrifier 4 recently, like somewhat, which is cool. Big thing there is Rhea Ripley again is just, doubling down on the fact she really wants to be in this new movie. And I really hope we get to see that. That would be sick as fuck, man. Love Rhea Ripley. That would be sick as sick. And we also have Damien just talking about like constantly coming back and saying something like, oh, well, we're going to make it happen. We're going to do something. And with Chris Jericho in there's already kind of a wrestling fan base around Terrifier, which is cool. So can we get her in there as well? That would be sick. I would be all about it. That'd be fun. Who would she play? That's my question about Terrifier 4. We got demons, and we got to have other characters too. I could see her playing a demon though, putting her on in all that makeup and shit. We got to have some more killers in Terrifier 4, especially after 2 and 3 introduced such fucking awesome characters. Got to have something like that, right? Got to have something like that in 3. Art's got to have a new buddy. Dogpack is saying Scream 4 needs a 4K release. Get rid of that filter we all hate. I don't hate the filter, but it doesn't really do much for the film, does it? I think it's supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to be a get it or you don't kind of joke about thousands horror movies and how gross they looked. So I get it. I get why it was added in there. Jake, get a warrior cut. I don't even know what a warrior cut is, but that sounds like the Viking. Is that like the Viking? Wait, is that the thing from like Vikings where the dudes have their like the sides of their head shaved and like it's really long on top? That's I don't think I could pull that off. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Marcus is saying, and then it may be cut or vaguely adds a shot of Sydney first, then Stu, Roman, or both of them cuts to the teaser and ends. That was only the first half. I see what's up. What if they go with the Scream 3 style teaser where they show the Ghostface masks displayed as smoke with the OG guitar theme with just Ghostface's voice in the background saying past dialogue. Oh, and then Sydney and all them show up. Okay, that could be fun. I'd be into something like that. Yeah, I mean, just something simple like that would be great, man. Yo, Joe's hanging out with us. What's up, Dreaming Insomniacs? How's it going, dude? Jake, the Killjoy podcast soon. Let's schedule. We got to do that, man. It's been a busy couple of months for me. I'm just gonna be so real. I'm so sorry, Joe. Let's make something happen sometime though, for sure. My fiance and I were moving into an apartment very soon, and I've just been trying to keep up, trying to make things happen so that we can do that. So I've just, all my time has been spent just making things happen with this channel, hopefully. So, we'll have to sit down. We'll have to talk, man. Lots of Scream stuff happening. Lots of crazy shit happening in the world of horror, man. But I hope you're doing well. Thank you for supporting the page. We'll have to talk sometime soon for sure. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna just send you something right now because I keep not sending you stuff. So let's fix that. Let's make that happen right here, right now. Because we're vibing out, dude. Dreaming Insomniac Records. Ayo, I'm gonna say ayo. What time you free, boy? What time you free, dog? There we go. We sent it, damn it. But Joe, thank you again. Appreciate that. You had been here since 100 subs. You've been here since like the beginning, pretty much, bro. That's crazy. And look, and we're on the cusp of 35K, by the way. So thank you guys for that. Really does mean a lot. It's been so much fun doing this page. I can't even tell you. Dragon Storm is saying Rhea Ripley should play Art's demon clown woman love interest. That's, now that Victoria and him have broken up, essentially. Is this where it goes next? Is there just a demon chick or something that Art's just like super into? I love it. That's funny. That's crazy, man. What else do we got going on? Tom is back. Yo. Ty Lee is hanging out with us. Thanks for being a channel member, bro. Appreciate you. Nicholas actually caught a live stream. What's up, Nicholas? Yo, dude. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you're doing good, Nicholas. It's I know we stream at weird times these days, but but here we are. This is what we're doing. Ooh, I like this. Joseph is saying, what about Joe Keery in Final Destination 7? Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I love me some Joe Keery. It's funny. My fiance introduced me to his music, which I didn't know about until very recently, and I actually it's good. I mean, it's good. I don't know. I like it quite a bit. It's different. It's fun. It's got some good stuff to it. Last two albums were solid as fuck. So I would love to see him in some more horror. I don't know if you guys have seen Spree with him or not, but I thought he was great in that. So I would love to hear more from him. Be a great voice in horror to continue on with it. Not just in Stranger Things, of course. Picky Piggy is saying, how are you, Jake? I'm vibing. I'm good. It's the end of the week. Time to chill, baby. And I'm really excited for Saturday. We're doing a long stream over on GullGotha. We're playing a little bit of Repo. There's a new the update is complete and is out. Finally, we've been playing the beta of it for some time now, but now it's like here's the finalized update of it. I'm really excited for that. Sometime tomorrow we're going to be going live we're doing like another 6-hour stream essentially, which that was chaos last time we did it and a ton of fun. So we're going to try to replicate that magic this Saturday with the gang. It's going to be fun. Joe is saying congrats to you and your fiance, Jake. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. It's been I'm a lucky guy, let me tell you. It's been a crazy couple of years. Picky Piggy wants Final Destination 7 to have Kimberly return. I agree. I think now that, without Mr. Todd, rest in peace. I really do want to, I don't know, if you got to have a legacy character come back, I think it would be cool for AJ Cook to be, somehow return in one way, shape, or another. I wouldn't mind it. It would be fun, I imagine. And she might be a new character for them to, like characters to come to and ask for advice, right? Kind of in a similar way to Bloodworth. And I almost feel like in a way, Tony Todd's lines in that last movie kind of almost feels like he's passing the torch in one way, shape, or another. He's even talking about how Kimberly was able to escape. She was the only person to do it. So I think that would totally work. I feel like that's totally natural after what's been set up in the previous film, whether that was on purpose or not. Tom is saying, what do you think of Jordan Peele's People Under the Stairs reboot? I feel like it needs to happen. People Under the Stairs is like Like, if you go back and watch that movie, it's so, like, you can tell Jordan Peele was inspired by that movie to make a lot of his own stuff. It's like so his flavor of horror. Like, I would love to see him do that. But, you know, the talk about that has been that it would just be a Monkey Paw production. I don't know if he would actually direct it. Honestly, I would love to see him, like, direct a remake of that, write and direct it. I think that would be great. Madison is saying, I'm going to call you as soon as I get off, as long as you aren't live, so that we can hash out some details about the stream. Yes, yeah, we do. We definitely got to talk about that. We got to figure out when, because we got some fun stuff. We got some fun stuff to get to this weekend, like grocery shopping. How fun is that? Yeah, right? Going to the club? Nah, not for me. Shopping for groceries? Let's go. Yeah, hoorah. Let's go, baby. That's what it's all about. Nicholas is saying weapons look so damn good. Bro, what is going on in this fucking movie? I'm hyped for it. Nicholas, I'm so with you, man. Trailer looks strong as hell. We got Benedict Wong losing his fucking mind in this movie. I don't know what it's gonna be about. I really have no idea what we're getting ourselves into here, but I'm here for it. I really think it's gonna be fun. No, I'm quite excited for that a bit. I mean, you know, we know that it's about the kids, you know, leaving in the middle of the night or whatever, but then there's all this weird shit happening with all these characters attacking each other. People run into the middle of the streets and, you know, cars are flying, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening in this movie. And it's probably the reason I'm the most excited for it. Cause we just don't know. We just don't know what's going on. Tyler's going to university at the end of the summer. So hyped. Nice. Congrats, Tyler. Dude, that's really good on you. Seeking a higher education and all that. It's really important. So that's good. I'm very passionate about these things. Before I was a YouTube person, I'm not going to call myself an influencer. I hate that. I'm not. Don't be influenced by me. Don't make the bad decisions I have. Before I did all this, I wanted to be a teacher. So I think it's really important to seek a higher education in all those fields. So that's good on you. Good on you, my friend. I dropped out of college, so don't be influenced by me. Tyler is saying, Jake, if you could play one instrument, what instrument would you play? I currently can play piano, guitar, and drums, kind of on drums. But so I can play instruments. I never really, I've always wanted to record some music in one way, shape, or form. A lot of the music that you hear on this page is stuff that I've originally composed. I did most of the music for Red Right Hand, all of the music for Chicken Man. So I do have, music out there, but I've just never really, went into the recording studio and I don't know, never really wrote a song or anything and put it out. I've always wanted to do that though. I really have. I've been playing guitar since I was 9 years old. I kind of self-taught myself piano and drums, so I can keep up essentially with those two. Guitar is the one I'm a little more familiar with. Stringed instruments in general. So maybe one day I'd love to make content on that kind of stuff. It would be fun. But just doing the horror thing for now, I guess. Picky Piggy is saying that Thomas Burke could return as well. That would be sick. That would be sick as fuck, man. Kimberly and Thomas potentially showing back up for whatever reason. Again, if it's our characters asking for advice, that'd be a perfect place to put that in there if you still want to have that. Because now that we don't have Tony Todd, we gotta have something, right? So that'd be cool. I'd be into it. And it's not trying to replace the Bloodworth scene. I feel like if they try to just have Kimberly be all mysterious and weird, that would be wrong. That wouldn't be the way to approach that. Some things are consecrated. Some things we gotta leave sacred, right? But so I wouldn't try to just replicate a Bloodworth scene. I would just make it your own. What does AJ Cook's character, what does Kimberly have to offer to the conversation? What does Thomas Burke have to offer to our new characters? So I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that as long as it was, trying to be something else, not just, there's only one way to escape and cheat death. You know what I mean? Like if you come out the gate doing that shit, it's like, bro, you're just copying Tony Todd. Don't do that. But give me a scene where our characters are seeking advice from the only other people who have found a way to live. Nicholas is saying, congrats on your engagement too, bro. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Really means a lot. I'm going to marry my best friend. So I'm really excited for that. Madison is wonderful. Froggy Fresh is saying someone on the Final Destination subreddit suggested government officials being okay. I don't know. Oh shit, we're getting into some territory here with that one. I mean, I don't. I'm gonna say that's fiction. That's a fictional thing. We're gonna say that is what, so that don't have anybody pounding on the door later. But yeah. Yeah, that's a funny fictional scenario. Froggy fresh shit posts. Everything's fine. I'm not scared to live in the country I live in. Anyways, let's get back to this. Final Destination 7, I am really excited for. I want to hear some updates on it, though. I want to hear something. But the last we heard was from Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein, essentially saying that they don't really have, an idea right now. They just want to, they kind of want to take a step back, kind of figure out what they want to do for the next one. This new movie made a fuck ton of money. We're getting the announcement soon that it's happening, but we need something concrete before that even happens. They got to have some kind of pitch, right? And I here's the thing: if it happens this week, if it happens next month, if it happens in 6 months, people are still going to be excited for a new Final Destination whenever they decide to announce it. But it's going to happen. They're not going to just leave that where it was. Dude, this movie made way too much money for them to just be like, we're good. No, they're Final Destination 7's coming. But it's just, we got to just take some time and figure something out. It's the same thing that just happened with Alien Romulus. I've been comparing it to that recently, but it's just what it is. You know what I mean? It's what, same thing happened there. Romulus, super successful, big, fresh start for the franchise. Super positive reviews for this movie too, which is kind of unlike some of the more recent Alien continuations. I actually really liked Covenant, but I know it wasn't reviewed so well. But Romulus, really positive reviews all around. A lot of people really dug this one. And then I think they just recently started filming the sequel for it, and that came out middle of last year. So sometimes we just got to wait for good stuff. You know what I mean? I think that's just ultimately what it comes down to. You got to wait until creatives have something in their back pocket. It's not like just going to work, you know what I mean? And just being like, okay, let's get something done today. Being creative, I feel like is just a different process. You can't force it. Sometimes things just take time to really figure out. Yo, Yurdy G is hanging out with us. 2 more weeks until mofo until GullGotha, my brother. Megan 2.0 was purely Terminator 7. That's really funny. Yes, 2 more weeks until GullGotha, ladies and gents. Really excited for this. GullGotha it's a really exciting new horror festival, little convention going on. A bunch of content creators are going to be there, including myself. We got Brandon from I Like Scary, a really good friend of mine. Can't wait to see him there. Yurdy G is going to be there. Make some crazy horror music. We love it. But I am really excited. It's going to be fun. So if you're in the, Southern Ohio, Northern Kentucky area, this is happening in Newport, Kentucky. I'm going to be there all weekend, just vibing out, talking about horror films. So, and also I have a whole panel with Brandon. We're talking about, building horror YouTube channels. How is it done? What are the tips and tricks? I'll reveal it all. I'll show my hand there. Not that it's a crazy hand to really follow, but I'll give you my tips and tricks. I can do that. So stop on by. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a really good time. I'm really honored to be a part of it. So can't wait for GullGotha. It's going to be fun. What's up? Picky Piggy is saying I'd like us. Okay, I'm getting off the government topic, bro. I seriously don't want anybody breaking down my door later on. Picky Piggy is saying I'd like a space-themed Final Destination movie. I feel like it could work since a rocket ship explosion would be a good premonition. Yeah, okay. I like the idea of. I think we were talking about this the other day, weren't we? Like a bunch of folks are supposed to get on a rocket ship, but then someone has a premonition that it's going to explode and they don't. That would be cool. I would be very into that. It'd be a cool way to start off one of these movies. I like the idea of them all being astronauts too, so they might be able to just totally game this situation, right? That could be fun. We need more magnet kills in Final Destination, says Tyler. It was fun with the MRI scene. I don't know if you're going to get better than that, though. That was solid. That was really solid. Marcus is saying my unpopular opinion, Bloodlines was just a better version of 4. Damn, that's brutal, dude. And I feel like the characters in 4 are so bad. I hate them. Honestly, I hate most, except George. Damn it. Love George. We love George in this house. He's got the best line in all of Final Destination in that 4th movie too. I don't care. He cracks me up. We loved it. We stan George. but everyone else can fuck off. And you also feel you're gonna bring, if they're gonna bring back Kimberly, Alex should be brought back as well. You know, I don't know, man. I love Alex. I think he's great. I love Devin Sawa. I think his off-screen kill fucking sucks. But, you know, how do you explain that? How do you explain that all these people knew that he was dead all this time? What's he been up to? I mean, could it be a situation like Grandma Iris in Final Destination 6? Maybe he faked his death and now he's, you know, hiding out somewhere trying to just avoid death coming after him this whole time or something like that. I mean, you could, I guess you could write that, but Clear Rivers was pretty damn sure he was dead. You know, that's the problem with that. But I would almost be okay with some sort of you know, direction where it's like just a direct sequel to the original starring Devin Sawa, you know, just bring back all these different characters. I wouldn't mind that either. I feel like they did him dirty, so to give him another shot, I wouldn't be against that. Tyler is saying the 6 opening was really funny with the kid in the bin. I genuinely laughed out loud. Oh my God, when they're all falling and raindrops keep falling on my, you know, and that whole thing, loved it. Great stuff. Just 10 out of 10. What an opening scene to a fucking horror movie, man. Pinky Piggy is saying, I know horror movies that go to space usually aren't good, but Final Destination could do it really well. I feel like with, you know, the rocket explosion thing that you're talking about, you could play that really straight. You know what I mean? Could technically be a space horror movie that, you know, with a lot of them being so campy and goofy, like you're talking about like Jason X, Leprechaun in space, these kinds of movies. You could do something really serious and interesting there. I feel that could be fun. But I feel like, you know, whenever people talk about, oh, it's in space, it's going to be goofy and silly. Okay, listen, there's some really good space horror movies, man. We can't forget about no Alien. We can't forget about, you know, I mean, just Alien and Predator franchises in general. There's a lot of space shit going on in those movies, and it's scary as fuck. Most of them are really well done, too. So, I don't know. I feel like space gets a bad rap in the space of horror. Oh, my God. That's funny. But, no, I think space is one of the most terrifying places you can set a horror film, honestly, if I'm being real. So I would not mind more space-centered vehicles for horror. I don't know what y'all are talking about, some crazy shit down there. But you know what's something else that I'm really excited about in the space of horror? I'm really hyped for this. We've talked about Weapons Together, Black Phone 2, man. This is another one that I feel like isn't getting enough love. I am so excited for this one. I just did a short about it the other day, responding to one of our members who was talking about it. You know, it's essentially the idea that it's very Freddy Krueger. It's very Nightmare on Elm Street in what it's doing, and I'm here for it. I'm really here. I'm really here for the idea of it going down that route. You know, we're not getting any new Nightmare on Elm Street flicks, which is a shame. And you know, the company that is putting out this flick, Blumhouse, they really wanted to do Freddy. They really wanted to do Nightmare on Elm Street. But you know, the rights are just so fucked up, tangled up. Can't get anyone to agree on everything, right? So how are we going to do Nightmare on Elm Street our own way? We're just going to fucking make the Black Phone Nightmare on Elm Street now. And I'm here for it. I'm honestly really excited after that last trailer. So I seriously cannot wait. I think there's going to be some really crazy shit going on in that movie. And the trailer looks amazing. Oh my God. It's Scott Derrickson doing Nightmare on Elm Street. That's how I'm looking at it. And it looks sick. I think I'm really going to like it. Froggy Fresh, I like this idea quite a bit. You like the idea of the suggested Bloodlines ending being the start of 7. That could work really well. Charlie's girlfriend's family and the friends can be the survivors, so it just picks up right where it left off. So it's like it's kind of connected, right? But also not really. It's just that can be a whole new story, essentially. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think that would be really sick. Someone else who was there essentially has a premonition about what's going on. I really wouldn't mind. I think that would be really fun. That'd be a cool way to connect them. Especially if it's coming from the same creatives. You know what I mean? It's like this is the Zack and Adam trilogy or something of Final Destination movies. They're all kind of connected, but not really. You know, just a bunch of different stories that start and end around the same place. Sure, that's, you know, who cares? Why not? I think that could be fun though. I'm here for that. Do you think The Conjuring Last Rites will be better than 3? God, I hope so, dude. Man, I don't think we've had a good Conjuring film in a couple, a couple of those movies. The last one I really loved was an Annabelle Creation. I thought that was great. Like Annabelle Creation might be my favorite of the entire bunch. I do weirdly have a soft spot for Annabelle Comes Home. It's not a good movie. But to me, it's like it's a so bad it's good. I just think it's so ridiculous, and there are so many like crazy character moments that just have me cracking up the entire time. Annabelle Comes Home, man, it's such a fun movie. I don't even care. I love it. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. But I think all three of the Annabelles are pretty good. I like all three of them. The first two Conjuring flicks are really solid. Objectively the best, probably. But then the rest of them, I could take her. The Nun movies, I don't care, man. The Nun movie, I could care less about the Nun movies. But I would love for Conjuring Last Rites to be a weird hit, like just a surprisingly okay. That was solid. That was a really good way to finish this thing, even though we went totally off the rails in some of the other movies that came out. Dogpack is saying the Toxic Avenger looks fun. It does. I'm excited for the Toxic Avenger quite a bit. Really solid looking trailer, really brutal moments. I love how like it's so saturated, but also so bloody and gross. And it sounds like it's going to be a satire, just like all the best trauma films. So I don't know. I'm quite excited for that one. I've had some folks who were longtime fans of the Toxic Avenger tell me they don't like the look at all, and I'm like, man, what? I love the way he looks cartoonish. That's trauma to me. That's textbook trauma. That's what he should look like. I feel like he even looks more trauma than the original guy does. Not saying I like this design more than the original, but man, I mean, it's even more green and cartoony and over the top. That's what I mean. Like that's what this brand is all about, in my opinion. Just in your face violence with a cartoonish tone and look to it. Black Phone 2 kind of going for it, and I love it, says Bobby Smooth. I agree. And it's ambitious. It's one of those things that I definitely think could work or could not, Bobby. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope it does, though, because I think we need a Nightmare on Elm Street feeling slasher right now. It's just with all these franchises being rebooted and we don't have a new Freddy, we don't have a new Jason movie. It's wild. It's wild out here. Paula Fitzhenry is still here, still hanging out with us. What's up, Paula? Welcome in, welcome in. What else is going on? I love Ethan Hawke, especially after the Newton Boys. I've never seen I don't know what the Newton Boys is. I'm going to be honest. Love Ethan Hawke, though. He's great. Marley Kai is saying, is it me or does Jake look different? You can actually see my ears for once, which I usually have these bad boys on. I just, I don't play music during my streams anymore, so I don't really need them. Not really vibing out to any tunage. I wish I could fix that. I don't know. On this program, I don't know how to play music. There's probably a way to do it. I have yet to figure that out. Hey, we got Sean F6U saying, can't wait for Ready or Not 2. I'm so curious on how that movie is going to start and how she is still hunted. Sean, that's a great question. My big question about it is like, is this going to, I think it's going to pick up right where it leaves off based on a lot of the photos that we've seen. Could it be more members of the family coming after her? Are they still alive somehow through some weird thing happening with the curse? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting question to find out, to answer in this one. But Sean, I'm really excited for Ready or Not 2 as well. The cast alone has me intrigued. I'm there day one for that. Great cast. Any Samara Weaving horror vehicle, I'm gonna watch it in some way, shape, or form. Grumpy Gorehound, thanks for the $5, dude. Really appreciate that. Saying, let's just please not send any more slasher sequels into space. In my opinion, it's a setting used only by studios and writers who are completely out of ideas. I think in slashers, yes. We were kind of just hitting on this a bit. I think space is a terrifying place to set a horror film, but maybe not a slasher, It leaves itself to, it sets itself up for, great sci-fi horror, I feel. But it's just kind of tough to do a a serious slasher film with actually scary moments and crazy kills in space. I mean, I think you could do, I honestly think you could do a movie where it's like some sort of alien acting as a slasher in one way, shape, or form, just killing a bunch of people. But isn't that kind of just Alien? You know what I mean? It's like that we have that movie already, right? So yeah, space is it's a tough setting because I think it has to, whatever your story is, it has to lend itself to that setting. Where like a guy in a mask killing people, I don't know if that's really the place to do it. So it's tough to say. Here's my thing that I'll throw out there. I almost wouldn't mind a movie about a guy who like loses his mind on a spaceship, like because he's been there for so long or something, and just like kills the rest of the crew. But like, Jason with nanobots rebuilding him and shit like that has to be campy, silly, goofy. You're running out of ideas kind of a movie, right? So no, I hear you on that. I do. But I do love a good space set horror film, man. I'll tell you what, some of my favorites are out there in space. Some scary shit, right? It's the epitome of the unknown. We have no idea what's out there at a certain point. So that to me is that's what's fascinating, I guess, about it. But Grumpy Gorehound dude, thank you for the 5. Appreciate you supporting the page. Space is, yeah, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing in slasher movies, man. Majority of them do not get it right. But thank you for the support, dude. Means a lot. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Froggy Fresh. Isn't that just the game Mouthwash? Mouthwashing has a very similar concept to that. Yeah, it is. Isn't there some, like, I feel like there was something supernatural about that. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. I thought there was a supernatural element to that game. What do I know? Tom Dark is saying the Hills Have Eyes remake is greater than the original. I don't disagree. I've never had a lot of love for the original. I like the concept, but I think I like the remake better. I have Unk status, says Tyler. I don't even, you know what? I don't care. That's fine. I'm fucking old, man. I'm so, like, I'm at the point where I'm like, at the end of the day, my back hurts. I gotta lay down. I'm like, it's 7:00. It's getting late. I'm tired. If I got Unk status, that's so fine. I'll live with that. Ant Salil too active. Ant's a little too active. Wow. Shit, I am getting old. Saying, how do you think the mental asylum aspect is going to play into Scream 7? I've been scratching my head. Honestly, I really think it's going to be someone's there that was affected by the original tragedy in the original Scream. That's my guess. We were kind of, we touched on it a bit earlier. What I was saying is that I really think it's going to be one of those things where you have people who, come in, like go and investigate there, and they find out that someone has been here since, 96 essentially, who like lost their mind, was affected by this tragedy that we never even really followed until now. It has to be. It's got to be something from the original is coming back, and that's why we have killers running around doing stuff now. Because I don't know why else we'd have a connection to the original again. I feel like we've mined that to death. We have to be coming up with something else that happened around then that we just didn't know about until just recently. But we'll see. I'm excited. I'm really excited to find out what is going on there. What's happening. If that's a rumor, if that's actually happening in the movie, we'll see. I remember there was stuff about, Scream 5. There was stuff we reported on from Scream 5 that's like, that wasn't even a thing. I don't know where that came from when we were talking about rumors. So you never know what's going to be true, what's not going to be true. But it's always fun to talk about, right? It's always a good time. I should play Fears to Fathom on stream. It's so peak. We're getting a bunch of games right now to play for over on the gaming channel. I've been really vibing with that page, man. It's been really fun. It's been fun to do something different. Majority of the streams I've done in my lifetime has been this, and this is great. Don't get me wrong. But doing gaming streams is we've had some crazy laughs on stream that I'm just like so glad I have footage of. I'm so glad we have something like that to come back to. So I don't know. I love it. Some great stuff here. Nicholas strongly believes that Stu is dead, but I would be okay if in Scream 7 we find out Stu was alive during the events of 3 and Roman's secret partner at the time. Then how'd he die? In that case, why would he be dead if he was still hanging out behind the scenes, still doing stuff? Sean is saying, Jake, do you think Scream 7 is going to have Sydney's daughter basically go through everything like she went through in her, like the first, including stalkings, jump scares, stew? I definitely think, yes, definitely think a big focus of this film is going to be the daughter. I'd almost be shocked if it wasn't. I think a lot of people think that this is going to be a Sydney focused movie, but I feel like it's going to be a Sydney like family focused movie. You know what I mean? Overall, I really think it's going to be just about all, the entire Prescotts or whatever, the Evans, I guess, if that's the name we're going with. I'm guessing that the daughter character especially is going to be a focal character. The one thing of footage that we've seen so far, that's been put out is a video of her daughter getting chased by Ghostface. So I imagine she's going to be the center of a lot of the big sequences of this film, whether people want to like that or not, or want that from this film or not. But I think that's just, it's kind of just it's just where the franchise feels like it has to go. It feels like it's got to move on to some fresh characters. There's only so much you can say about, the events that happened that one fateful night to this character. I feel like there's only so much you can do with Sydney until you got to move on with her story and different people in her life and just setting her in a new place in life and focusing on new characters for that reason. So I definitely think the daughter will be a big focal point of this new film. Ghostface is going after, everybody in the family one way or another. So Froggy Fresh is saying, in Final Destination Bloodlines, Eric was meant to be a streamer and die on stream while on VR. Hopefully we get that kill repurposed in another movie sometime. There were some really cool ideas for Final Destination Bloodlines that didn't make it. The whole opening scene was supposed to be on one of those boats with the big wheels. I can't remember the name of those right now, but it was supposed to be a boat explosion, which is like, that's nuts. That would have been really fun to see something like that happen. But I'm happy with the film we got at the same time. I liked it quite a bit. I've been looking for my water this entire time, and it's been sitting right next to me. Like, what is going on with this? The Powerade's just it's giving me some acid reflux. You guys want to hear more things about how I'm getting old? Crazy. Stay young, kids. Don't work yourself to the bone. Anyways. Tom is saying, I actually think because we expect it to be Sid's daughter at the center, it would be cool that they went the opposite route. Killed her, had one of the friends be the new final girl. But one of the friends. So, like, to me, like, my thing is I just feel like we gotta, like, Sydney's gonna be a part of it. You know what I mean? Sydney's gonna be a part of it in one way, shape, or another. And I feel like focusing it on the daughter's relationship like just makes the most sense. I mean, maybe she's friends with maybe her friends know Sydney, know the mom, so maybe something like that could work. That could be a shock. I'm here for a shock, you know what I mean? I'm never gonna shoot that down. I want to see something I want to see something shocking here for sure. So if whatever we can do to make that happen, I'm here for it. Oh my God, Mr. L is saying Creature of the Black Lagoon was my favorite of the Universal monsters growing up. Hell yeah, dude. Me too. Honest, I always loved the Creature. I especially am excited for this new James Wan film that he's apparently directing, the new take on the Creature of the Black Lagoon. I will be there day one for that. I have been a fan since I was a kid, so really want some more. Really want some more from the Creature. What do you think that the Meeks twins are helping Gale? Yes, I definitely do. I think they're a part of whatever that team is, whatever's going on there. They're probably investigating with Gale, or came there because of Gale. Maybe they're working. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure on what the deal is going to be with them. But based on what we've heard from the writers, they've said that, Gale introduces them into this new story somehow, and I'm excited to find out more about that. How did they get from New York to Indiana, and why? Are they working with Gale? What's happening there? I don't know. But I guess it makes sense because the other thing is that we had Gale talk a little bit about how true crime limited series are the big thing these days, and it's still creative, however you want to look at it, right? So it's still Gale essentially working on projects and making stuff like that. Essentially, these are two movie nerds. You know what I mean? They're in Randy's lineage. Of course, they're going to be interested in something like that. Could they be here helping her write her book, be creative in some sense? I don't know. I'm not 100%. I do feel like there's been this like reversal on Gale's whole arc where they're like taking it down this other direction now. She's reverting back to her original self now that Dewey's dead. I hope that I hope that trend doesn't get continued in this new movie. I'd like to see a more positive Gale just because of what's happened in her life and like where she is now. I feel like I don't know. I feel like after everything with Dewey, you would think that she'd still be a certain way, but kind of feels like they're trying to revert her back to Screams 1 and 2 Gale, where admittedly I did like her more. I mean, I didn't like her more, but I liked that she was sassier and, going for it and career motivated and all that, right? I think it was more fun to watch. So I understand the want for that, but does it make sense? I don't know. What else is going on? Are you going to watch A Very Young Frankenstein from the creators of What We Do in the Shadows? A Very Young I have not heard of this until now. That's really funny. I mean, nothing can top Young Frankenstein. Come on now. But A Very Young Frankenstein? That's funny. Mr. L is saying in regards to the Saw franchises, I feel as though it's one of the rare occasions where I think it's best to reboot it. The story is so convoluted, I feel as though a reset would be warranted. Mr. L, I agree for a couple of reasons. It's one of those things where like, I don't even care if it's convoluted. I'd love to see it continued, but can we even do that with some of the components? They had to basically get on their hands and knees and beg Carrie Elwes to come back for the fucking 7th movie. And then also, John Kramer, Tobin Bell, he's old, man. I mean, he's old. He's almost in his mid 80s. I don't imagine that he wants to get covered in blood for horror movies anymore. He's done, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So I imagine that, yeah, a reboot probably is best. And while some people really are not into that, I think that there's potential in things like Spiral from the Book of Saw, honestly. I just don't think that everything was executed to the best of its abilities, and that's why people just didn't really like that one. But I really think a Saw reboot can work, just if you execute it the right way, you get the right people. And I don't just, again, at the end of the day, what I want more than anything is just some really good traps. As long as you're able to deliver there, that's like half the battle. So fun little twists, some good characters to potentially throw into traps. That's really all I need. I don't know. Hot Flesh is saying, if you did kill Sydney's daughter, give her a call. Have you checked the children? When a stranger calls vibes. Making it the end and at the like going into Scream 8, essentially. That's your cliffhanger, is killing the daughter. That could be really tragic. Maybe like the scene that you think is going to be the big third act, the big party, like where everything's supposed to go down. Ghostface gets the upper hand essentially and takes down somebody. And then you get to do that cliffhanger. That could be fun. I'd be into something like that. Anything for a good story in this universe, I think at this point. The things I love about Screams 5 and 6, I want to see some of the stuff from the original that I loved, I think, so much in 7. I just want to see a good story more than anything, I think. On one of these streams, you mentioned the movie I'm Just Fucking With You. I enjoyed it. Oh, yeah. Dude, you watched that? Nice. Rock on. Found the main character whiny and annoying and was surprised by how Chester was actually a good villain. I agree. Yeah, no, I agree with you. The villain, I remember being really impressed by. I was like, okay, I don't know if that was all 10 out of 10, but the villain performance here made it worth the watch. It's almost a little tedious how something just keeps happening the entire movie, but it's fun. It's a really good watch. Astral Austin, thanks for being a member, bro. Saying, as much as I want to say how excited I am for Scream 7, still pretty bummed about Melissa Barrera being fired. Then again, at least we're getting a new story with new characters. I mean, are we getting a new story with new characters? But yeah, no, I am bummed about everything that happened with Melissa, man. My thing, like, whether you liked Sam Carpenter or not as a character, it's like, this was an opportunity to do something fresh with Scream, and I just feel like we kind of blew it. And that sucks because I feel like Scream is one of those things that you could just keep doing Scream forever. And it just, as long as you found something new to talk about with every single movie, the franchise could go on forever. And now to kind of, have this bad blood about the movies that did try to do that, I just feel like it's like really shooting this franchise in the foot. Eventually, and we might already be there, there's just not going to be any more story to tell with the legacy characters. And do we really want them brought back if that means the story is going to suck? Like, to me, like, I don't know. I think some people hear that and they're like, oh, Jake, you hate the legacy characters. No, I don't want them to be disrespected. These characters are sacred. Bring them back if you have a good story to tell. If you just keep bringing them back to put butts in seats, that's just what they did with the new Halloween movies. And that sucked. Frankly, I loved Halloween 2018. That was fun. But like beyond that, did they do anything really worth your time with Laurie Strode? I would argue no. I would say I got nothing out of those movies that bettered the character for me personally. So I hope that they're bringing back Sydney and Gail and even Dewey now for good reason, for good reason to actually tell something that's going to strengthen these characters rather than just, bringing them back as cannon fodder essentially. I don't know, man. It would suck balls to bring the best final girl of all time back just for a cash grab. I think that's my biggest thing. I'm super worried about with Scream 7, and it's why my hopes just are not high. My hopes are not high for 7. Even though it is a new Scream movie, and that does have me excited. So what can I as a Scream fan, I'm on the fence. I'm just so mixed feelings about everything going on with this, but I hope it's good. I hope so. Marley Kai says, I think that Sydney Sweeney should play Jake. That would be insane. That would be an insane movie. She isn't she playing that like the MMA fighter or something like that? Some fighter movie. I don't know. I'm no expert in that field, let me tell you. But she's playing some sort of like boxing woman. I don't know. I saw like one article about that. That's all I know. Mr. L is saying, I hope Scream 7 doesn't have too much nostalgia bait. Not saying I don't want any, but thus for a lack of the intrigue has been a lot of the intrigue has been for returning actors and actresses. Yeah, and we need more than that, right? And Scream has always been about nostalgia. I mean, I'm not saying you can't, I'm not saying do Scream without nostalgia. I mean, the original Scream, that's the reason it was successful, is because it's like, hey, Halloween, let's do that. Let's take that down a different path. But that's exactly it. You know what I mean? Yes, it was referencing Halloween, and that was fun. But at the same time, it was also doing some things better, arguably better, or taking it down its own unique modern path. I don't feel that from I don't feel that from most of the Scream sequels, I really only feel like there's been like 2 Scream movies that have like executed something really well in terms of commentary. And I don't know. I think if you're going to do a Scream movie, that's got to be like number one thing, like at the top of the list, most important thing you got to execute. Cause I don't know, you can make a fun movie. Like, I feel like anyone can make a fun movie, but can you do something with substance about, like what the Scream franchise does? Can you do something that says something about the state of horror? I don't know. I really want to see that in Scream 7 for sure. So I want nostalgia, but you got to do it in the way that Scream does it best. Not just pointing at the thing and saying, hey, remember that. You got to do more than that. Moser Movie Reviews is saying, hey, buddy, what's up, Chase? How's it going, dude? Welcome in. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're probably just about to wrap up here, but Erica is throwing out some links once again to our Discord. Make sure to join that. We talk horror all the time there, 24/7. And also check out the link to GullGotha. That's our horror gaming channel, which we're going live tomorrow for like a couple of hours to do. We really want to hit 1,000 subs over there, so please go subscribe if you haven't already. Would mean a lot. Especially because like we got to hit that goal before the end of the year, basically. So would really help us. Even if you're not into horror games, please just subscribe. Hitting that red button would basically make my summer. So thank you for the support there, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Have a great and safe weekend. And we'll be live again on Sunday for the Lethal Collective. Not Monday, Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So stop on by for that. We will be live on Monday though, too, for a cool little stream like this as well. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out.